Okay, so I poured myself a little bit of solvent in this jar and I got myself a brush. This is a hog bristle type brush, very affordable to purchase. Got stiffer bristles here, that's why I like the hog bristle brushes. And I'm using this odorless turpenoid here. There's no odor to this, which is great, and it is a solvent. And you can use this with oil pastels. And so rather than blending this by hand, and it's very hard to do with Craypas, you can just use a solvent and really save yourself a lot of time and a lot of frustration. And basically what you do is you just take the brush in, you dip it in there, and then you just kind of use it, and you can help spread that color out. You can see how easily that all spreads out. And I don't even have to put a lot of pressure, and the color just spreads out and covers that paper up, right? So we'll first do this kind of snowy area here in the front here. Okay, and we'll kind of just go across like that. I'm kind of using this horizontal blend because my light kind of comes in horizontally at this section here. So, right, so just a little bit of solvent, wipe off the brush a little bit, and then just kind of spread it. This is so easy to do, saves myself a lot of time, and saves my fingers from rubbing it all out. I could take this by hand and rub it with my fingers or a stump, but it takes much longer. I'm also using a very thick paper that should be good with absorbing the solvent. Some of the thinner papers though might have a problem with this process, so best to just use a thick paper here. Now you can see where I have these bushes here. I'm just gonna go over the top of those and just kind of spread those around a little bit. Not worried about details really, more worried about just covering the paper all up so I don't see any of the paper underneath. Alright, go to this side and do the same thing. And I'm into snowy winter seasons paintings at the moment because it is winter here. We do have a lot of snow outside. We had a big storm roll in over the weekend here, and so I guess it's kind of fitting to do a snow scene again. All right, now let's go to the background area first. We'll do the trees last. So I'm going to go ahead and just now take the same brush and solvent and just kind of spread that color and cover up the paper and do all this blending so easily. And this is a great method to use with oil pastels. I like the odorless turpenoid because again it's odorless, so I don't smell anything, and it's just easy to use, and helps to have a stiff brush to help kind of cut into that oil pastel and kind of move it around, like as you see what I'm doing here. Alright, let's go over here. I do have some sky in here that I just left the color of the paper. We'll just go ahead and put that in with the Neopastel here when I get past this part here. So don't worry about that. But right now just worry about covering up everything here with that solvent, covering up the paper here. I like to work in layers, so the first layer is about just covering the paper up, kind of figuring out some base composition, and then we just add more and more on top. All right. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get to the big trees here. So this is a dark umber here, and I'll just go ahead and spread that around. Spread that down. There's another tree right there, and some of these big branches here. Okay. Now it does take a while for this layer to dry, so you don't want to. I don't want to go immediately on top of oil pastels until this layer has dried. And I give it a good. I'm probably going to give it. I'm going to check it probably in about 30 minutes and see if it's good to go, and then I'll start adding the second layers, which will be done in Neopastel. Okay. There's that tree. There's a branch right there. Some of these branches up here. Now this scene has a lot of branches. There's a ton of them, but don't worry about all of them. Just get some of the big ones in. We'll get the rest of them here as we go through the painting. But right now we'll just worry about the big ones. Alright. You can see how well that solvent does. It's just spreading this color out. Very easy, very fast. I'm saving myself literally probably an hour's worth of work here if I were to do it by hand, and a lot of frustration, right? That's one of the hard things about oil pastels, especially when you first start off, is blending them, right? Covering them up, covering them, spreading the color around so it kind of covers up the paper. That's one of the big hurdles. And so using a solvent like this really cuts down on your time and frustration level. All right. So this is a great method to use, and it's good on good, thick, durable paper like this, or even a watercolor paper would work, or you can use it on a hardboard, or even sanded paper. As long as the paper is thick and durable, you shouldn't have a problem. All right, so very easy. It took about 6 minutes just to do this part here. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and let this set up a little while. I'm going to check it in about 30 minutes, and then we'll begin with the Neopastels, which is all right in this area here. And we'll start on with the layers of Neopastels. And I have a lot of solvent left over, so I'll save this for future painting. The solvent should last a while just in this jar. And the brush cleans up real easy. Alright, we'll put that right down there. Okay, so if I touch it with my hands at the moment, it is wet. Right? Very slippery and wet, so that needs to dry for a little while. So I would say in about 30 minutes it's probably going to be ready to go. Right, there's a reference photo again, and I like this because of the way the light's hitting these trees, bringing out these really pretty colors, kind of these greens and these golds here, and different shadows from the branches that they create, and long shadows in the foreground with the snow. Right, so there we are, first layer. Okay guys, I'll be back. Okay, so I waited a good 30 minutes for that, and it is dry and ready to go. Basically I can run my fingers on it and it's not wet, but as you can see it does pick up a little bit of color, which is okay, but it's dry enough here. Some parts a little bit more wet, maybe over here, but most of this is ready to go. I am going to start up here in the sky. So let's go ahead and take a look at our Neopastel set. So this is a 48 count Neopastel kit, and that's a good sky color, right? Nice sky blue color for that. And maybe we'll even put a light gray on top of that, who knows. All right, so let's just start off there. And now here I didn't put any Craypas, so this just be straight Neopastel right on the paper. And we'll just go ahead and start putting it in the sky. All right. This is good paper to use, and the Neopastels are nice, thick color, creamy enough to move around, very easy to work with. I like using the Neopastel exclusively when I do plein air stuff, like if I have a little outdoor easel I take and I will go on location and I'll do paintings on a 9x12 format, and I just like to use 100% Neopastel when I do that. Alright, because it's a very versatile oil pastel brand to use, and I just found out that these sticks are only 20 cents more per stick than the Van Goghs here in the United States. If you go to dickblick.com, or probably any of the other major art websites, but I was amazed that they're only 20 cents more per stick than the Van Goghs, which is such a huge difference in quality compared from the Neopastels to the Van Goghs. Alright, so we'll go ahead and just kind of get that sky color in. Now this is not a full tutorial where I do the entire process from start to beginning. I'm going to kind of cut in here and out, so I am planning on doing a full tutorial on using Craypas and Neopastel together. But for this video I'm just going to kind of cut in and out, and so it'll be just a much shorter version here, kind of a mini tutorial, if you will. Alright, so get that sky color in, and I even see it in here in between these two trees here. Now this is a very nice bright blue here, different than what my reference shows. My reference shows more of a lighter blue, almost like a light gray there in the sky. So I think what I'm going to do is see what the gray on top of that blue looks like, to try to get it closer to the actual reference picture here. You can see that just goes right over the top of that, and that's a little bit closer to to what the reference photo is showing me. Right, and these are nice creamy oil pastel brand to use, very easy to blend out with my fingers or using a stump here. All right, we'll just go right over the blue there. Okay, and we'll just make our way across. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, go ahead and finish out the sky and work my way down. All right, I'll be back.